Most people place a snake plant in their home because it looks clean, modern, and low maintenance. It's known for purifying the air and needing very little care. But what if I told you that where you place it might be quietly working against you? Not in a dramatic, life-shattering way, but in small, unnoticed shifts. You feel a little more tired at home. Meals feel less warm, less connected. Your money comes in, but never seems to stay, and you can't quite put your finger on what changed. The truth is, in energy-based home practices, the placement of certain objects, especially living ones, has an effect. It's not about superstition, it's about patterns, flow, atmosphere. The snake plant, with its sharp, upright leaves and strong yang energy, doesn't just sit still. It interacts with the space around it. In the right spot, it protects, purifies, and lifts, but in the wrong place, it can disrupt. Just like a loud sound in a quiet room, its energy can clash with the part of your home it inhabits. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because once you notice the connection between where your snake plant sits and how your space feels, you may start to understand why certain areas of your life feel a little off. This video isn't just a list of where not to place your plant. It's a gentle guide to helping you read the quiet language of your space again. So if you've ever wondered why things feel stuck, strained, or just not quite right at home, this may be a good place to start looking. Position 1, center of the home, wealth blocked. There's a place in every home that holds more weight than the rest. It's not always marked on a floor plan, and you might not even notice it when you walk by, but you feel it. The center of your home isn't just a spot between rooms, it's where everything in your space connects. Energy flows into this space from all directions. Like the heart of a body, it doesn't speak loudly, but it sets the rhythm. When this heart is calm, your home feels peaceful, supported. But when something disrupts that balance, it echoes throughout every other room, subtle at first, but persistent. The snake plant, with its striking, sword-like leaves, is a popular choice for homes because it looks clean and bold. And when placed thoughtfully, it can serve as a powerful guardian of the home's energy. But when it's placed at the very center, right where your home's energy gathers, it does something else entirely. It doesn't whisper protection. It cuts, quietly, steadily, unintentionally. That sharp, upward energy, the same quality that makes the plant seem strong and structured, can feel jarring when placed in the home's central hub. It doesn't harmonize, it disrupts. Instead of letting energy flow smoothly from room to room, it creates a break, like a current interrupted midstream. You may not notice it right away, but over time it shows in tension, in unease, in money that never seems to stay, in sleep that feels light, restless, in family members retreating to their own corners. The house doesn't feel broken, but it doesn't feel whole either. If your home has an open concept design, this center space may be part of a hallway, the area between the kitchen and living room, or even a transition between stairs. It's a place people pass through, but rarely pause in. And yet, it's where energy gathers and redistributes. That's why what sits here matters deeply. If you've ever placed a bold decor item or an attention-grabbing piece right in the center of your home, you may have felt this too. A vague discomfort, a sense that something's not quite working. Snake plants are energetic amplifiers. That's part of what makes them so appealing. They don't just sit in silence. They project. But in the center of the home, amplification becomes overstimulation. The sharp energy of the plant becomes the tone setter for the entire house. Instead of holding space for calm, for grounding, it holds tension. You might notice conversations shift from light to clipped. Laughter feels a little thinner. The space doesn't invite lingering, it encourages motion, like something in the air doesn't want you to settle in. For many women, especially in midlife, home is more than shelter. It's a source of identity, of restoration, of control in a world that often feels too loud or too fast. So when that space starts to feel off, it affects more than your comfort. It touches your clarity, your confidence, even your sense of financial security. You work hard, you do the right things, but if the heart of your home is sending out the wrong signal, you're constantly swimming upstream, and you might not even know why. In energy-focused home design, the center of the home is often associated with stability, grounding, and the flow of abundance. When a plant like the snake plant, with its dominant upward motion and blade-like energy, is introduced here. It disrupts that stability. It can make energy feel directional, sharp, anxious. That can translate into real-life symptoms: disorganized finances, increased spending, tension in decision-making, not because the plant is bad, but because its energy wasn't meant to sit at the center. And this isn't about being perfect or obsessive with decor. It's about being intentional. If your home has felt out of rhythm lately, if you've been working more but saving less, or if you feel like you're always doing but rarely resting, this is worth exploring. Look at what lives in the center of your space. Is it loud? Is it heavy? Is it sharp? And if it's a snake plant, ask yourself, could this energy be better placed elsewhere? There are better homes for this powerful plant, places where its protective energy becomes an asset, not a disruption. Entryways, home offices, corners where energy needs a little lift. But the center, that space needs softness, grounding. It needs something that holds energy instead of directing it. A round rug, a soft light, a plant with flowing leaves, not rigid spikes, something that invites breath, not tension. You don't need to throw anything away. You don't need to change everything overnight. This is not about fear or guilt. It's about alignment. About learning to read the quiet messages your home has been sending and responding with care. Move the plant. Just try. Notice what changes in the days that follow. Does the space feel easier? Do your thoughts feel clearer? Does your house somehow feel like it's exhaling again? These small shifts are powerful not because they're dramatic, but because they are honest. They reconnect you with your space in a way that feels deeply human. Not mystical, not magical, just real. You've known what heaviness feels like. You know what lightness feels like too. Your home knows how to hold both, and you know how to listen. So start at the center. That quiet space no one talks about, but that you've always felt. Look at what's living there. Ask yourself, is it grounding me or pulling something away? Position 2, near the kitchen. Money leaks, warmth fades. The kitchen is more than a room. It's where life happens when no one's looking. It's where morning coffee sets the tone for the day, where late-night leftovers feel like comfort. It's where you stir old family recipes and new beginnings. And for many women, especially in midlife, the kitchen becomes the rhythm of the household. But there's something that can quietly throw off that rhythm, something that doesn't make noise, but still disrupts everything around it. It's the snake plant when placed too close to the fire. At first glance, it seems harmless, even helpful. A tall, tidy plant that needs little care. It's strong, dependable, and stylish, but the energy it carries is anything but neutral. In spaces where warmth and flow are essential, like the kitchen, the snake plant can create more tension than balance. And when you place it near the stove, or in the space where you prep meals and gather with others, something begins to shift. Not in big, dramatic ways, but in the quiet corners of your day. You might notice it in the way conversations feel shorter, more clipped, or how the kitchen feels more functional than warm. There's no music playing, no lingering, just a sense of rush, like something is watching but not welcoming. And over time, you might feel it financially, too. Bills pile up. Groceries cost more than usual. Money comes in but doesn't seem to stretch. It's not about superstition, it's about interference, two kinds of energy clashing in one small space. The kitchen is a space of transformation. Raw ingredients become nourishment. Cold becomes warm. Family becomes closer. That transformation relies on a specific kind of energy, one that's centered around fire, comfort, and flow. But when you introduce a plant like the snake plant into that space, especially near the stove, you're inviting in a type of energy that's sharp, upward, and protective, not warm, not flowing, not receptive. The result? Energetic tension, the kind that builds slowly, quietly, until your kitchen feels more like a workplace than a gathering space. The snake plant's energy is strong. It doesn't bend or blend, it stands. Alone. That's what makes it useful in some areas of the home, like the entryway or home office. But near the kitchen, it becomes a rigid presence in a soft, shifting space. The kitchen thrives on cooperation, ingredients mixing, voices blending, people leaning in. A snake plant interrupts that. It stands as a barrier. It says protect when the space is trying to say welcome. You might not even realize it's happening, but over time meals feel less nourishing, not because of what's on the plate, but because of what's missing in the air. That soft energy, that invisible warmth that lingers after the food is gone. The kind of energy that tells people they are home. And with it, money also feels different, less rooted, less steady. You budget, but things slip. You save, but something always comes up. The house isn't cold, but the warmth doesn't last. This isn't about blame or being afraid of your plants. It's about matching energies with the space they are in. The kitchen deserves gentleness, movement, support, a trailing vine, a bowl of lemons, a rosemary sprig on the windowsill, something that invites you to breathe in, not stand guard. The snake plant, when placed in the kitchen, sends the wrong message, not to people, but to the energy of the space. It tells it to hold back, to tighten, to cut. If you've noticed your kitchen feeling less like a gathering place and more like a space you just pass through, this might be why. If family meals have become quick, transactional, even awkward, if your grocery bills feel heavier and your mood lighter when you leave the kitchen, consider what's sitting near the stove, what's rooted in that space, what kind of energy it's offering. Moving the plant doesn't mean you failed. It means you're listening. To your home, to your instincts, to the quiet voice that says, something here needs to soften. There are so many better places for the snake plant to do what it does best: guard, uplift, purify. The kitchen just isn't one of them. You might not notice a change right away when you move it, but give it a few days. Watch the space breathe again. Feel the difference in your shoulders as you cook. Listen to how long your family stays at the table. Small shifts matter, because the energy of your home isn't created by what you buy, it's shaped by what you allow to stay. This plant isn't your enemy, but in the wrong place it becomes a silent interruption. A wedge between warmth and connection, between flow and stillness, between comfort and chaos. And if your kitchen has felt just a little off, now you know where to look, and more importantly, what to move. Let the heart of your home beat without interference. Let the warmth return, not just through the oven, but through the air around it. Make space for energy that nourishes. And let the snake plant stand where it can guard, not where it quietly takes. Position 3, dark corners, dead energy spreads. There's always that one spot in the house that gets ignored. Maybe it's under the stairs, behind the door that always stays half closed. A hallway that's a little too dim, a corner that's always colder than the rest. You don't decorate it, you don't sit near it. You walk past it every day, but never toward it. These are what we call dark corners, and while they may not catch your attention, they hold onto something far more powerful, energy that goes nowhere. Now imagine placing a living thing, a plant meant to breathe, absorb, and radiate into that forgotten space. Specifically, a snake plant known for its sharp, upright strength. At first, it seems like a good idea. It fills the empty space, adds greenery. Maybe it even hides a flaw in the wall or fills a shadowy void. But slowly, without you realizing, the energy in that space shifts, and not in a good way. Plants are more than decorations, especially ones like the snake plant. They are energy exchangers, and when you place them in a dark, damp, neglected area, they can't thrive. They begin to decay first in small ways: a yellowing leaf, a limp stalk, a buildup of dust. But what's happening isn't just botanical, it's energetic. That decay doesn't stop at the edge of the pot, it seeps into the space around it. And then it spreads. Dead energy is real. It's that heaviness in a room that hasn't been opened in a while. It's the strange fatigue that lingers even after a good night's sleep. It's the way your thoughts feel slow in certain parts of the house. When you place a vibrant plant into a dark corner and it starts to wither, you're creating a feedback loop of stagnation. What once had the potential to purify now holds the weight of decline. And the snake plant, with its strong, yang energy, isn't designed for stillness. It's meant to stand in strength, to support clarity and movement. When it's forced to live where light doesn't reach, where air is stale, where no one ever looks, it becomes overwhelmed. It can't function the way it was meant to. Instead of warding off negative energy, it starts reflecting it back. Not because it's faulty, but because it's stuck. You might notice this not as a dramatic change, but as a slow fade. Your home begins to feel less bright even when the sun is out. You avoid certain rooms without meaning to. You feel less motivated or easily drained. Arguments seem to spark more quickly. Sleep feels less restful, and underneath it all is this sense of something not moving, something stuck. Energy, like water, is meant to circulate. When it doesn't, it grows heavy. When you place a strong energy source like a snake plant into a non-circulating zone, you're placing a filter where there's no flow. It traps more than it clears, and in time, you start to feel what the plant is trying to tell you. I can't breathe here, and neither can you. This isn't about making every corner perfect. It's not about guilt over an overwatered pot or a dusty leaf. It's about learning to see the hidden layers of your space. That forgotten corner is a mirror, not just of how we treat our homes, but how we treat parts of ourselves. The parts we don't visit, the emotions we tuck away, the fatigue we ignore. A dying plant in a dark corner is a physical echo of something deeper. When you move the snake plant from that space, you're not just helping it recover. You're reopening energy flow. You're letting light return to a place that's been holding still for too long. You're signaling that everything in your home deserves to be seen, to breathe, to change. Even the parts that felt too quiet, too far gone. And here's what's beautiful: the change is felt almost instantly. You walk into the room and it feels different, lighter, like the air has more oxygen in it. The plant starts to lift. The room doesn't repel you anymore. Maybe you even sit there. Light a candle, open the window. These are the small returns, and they matter more than you think. Your home isn't just a structure. It's a living reflection of your inner state. Every corner tells a story, and the corners you neglect, the ones where dead energy settles, are asking for attention. Not judgment, not perfection, just presence. Because when you start to care for those spaces, they start to care for you in return. If you have a snake plant sitting in a forgotten spot, this is your invitation. Not to throw it away, but to rescue it, to find a brighter place where it can do what it was meant to do, and to look gently at the space it left behind. What was stuck there? What did you stop paying attention to? What needs light now? This is about more than a plant. It's about reclaiming flow, releasing the weight of what hasn't moved in too long, giving yourself and your home permission to feel lighter, to breathe deeper, to let life back in one quiet corner at a time. Position 4. In the bedroom, sleepless, disconnected. The bedroom is one of the most emotionally sensitive places in your home. It's where you go to release the weight of the day, to heal in silence, to share intimacy, or to simply be still in your own presence. This is where your nervous system finally lets go, where your body stops performing, where your heart gets to be unguarded. So when something disturbs that space, not loudly, but subtly, it has a way of unraveling you in ways you can't always name. The snake plant, though beautiful and often helpful in many parts of the home, does not belong here. Not because it's bad, but because of how it behaves, how it radiates, and what it invites or interrupts. Its energy is upright, active, and sharp. It doesn't soften or blend. It stands alert, almost like a sentry. And in the bedroom, that kind of presence doesn't protect. It intrudes. You may have placed the plant by the window, near the dresser, or even beside the bed, thinking of it as a calming touch of green. But over time, if you've been sleeping more lightly, waking up tired, or struggling with dreams that feel chaotic or restless, you may have felt its energetic imprint without realizing it. The plant doesn't move, but it holds a posture that affects how your body rests near it. It pulls the energy up when the bedroom asks for everything to settle down. And for couples, the effect can be even more pronounced. A space that should be nurturing and emotionally open may begin to feel colder, more detached. Conversations trail off earlier. Intimacy shifts into silence. You start to sense that something is in between, not visibly, but energetically. The snake plant, in its rigid strength, offers the wrong language for a space that needs softness, surrender, and emotional warmth. There's nothing superstitious here. This isn't about blaming a plant for the state of a relationship or a bad night's sleep. It's about understanding how objects with a certain form and energy can influence your experience of space. The same way you'd never hang a spotlight over your bed or place a steel sculpture next to your pillow, you shouldn't bring sharp, vertical energy into a room meant for horizontal rest. The bedroom thrives on flow, on dim, low, enveloping energy. The best elements for this room are those that curve, soften, dim, or soothe. Linen, candles, rounded plants, gentle books. A warm throw that holds warmth even when folded. These things tell the body, you're safe now, you can let go. The snake plant doesn't say that. It says, stay ready, stand tall, be alert. And that energy lingers even as you try to drift off. You may have noticed tension in your shoulders at night, or waking up more often without knowing why. You may feel fine during the day, but never truly restored by your sleep. And that's not something to overlook. Sleep is where the mind reorganizes, where the body repairs, where the spirit settles. Anything that interferes with that, consistently, quietly, will take more from you over time than you realize. And for those who share their bedroom with a partner, this disruption can create an invisible wedge. You still love, still care, but the room doesn't invite connection. It feels functional, not intimate, restless, not safe. You avoid eye contact without meaning to. Words get fewer, and without one obvious cause. You start to drift, not into sleep, but into emotional distance. If you've been feeling like your nights are heavy, like your sleep lacks softness, or like your bedroom feels more like a storage area than a sanctuary, this is your cue to look around. Not for clutter, not for mess, but for sharpness, upright energy, things that stand when everything else in the room is trying to lie down. If the snake plant is there, it's worth considering, what message is this sending to the space? And here's what's most important: you don't need to get rid of it, you simply need to relocate it. There are parts of your home where its strength is welcome, where its upward energy brings balance, like the hallway near the front door, an office space, even a bathroom that needs a little edge to clear stagnant energy. But your bedroom, that's your inner world. It deserves the kind of energy that embraces, not alerts. Once you remove the plant from your bedroom, the space changes, not like flipping a switch, but like letting out a breath you didn't know you were holding. The air feels gentler, your body doesn't brace, and in that shift you begin to reclaim rest as a sacred act, not just a routine. This small change can ripple into everything. Better sleep leads to clearer thoughts. Clearer thoughts lead to softer words. Softer words rebuild connection, not just with a partner, but with yourself. And in a world that asks you to be so many things to so many people, your bedroom should be the one place that gives you back to yourself. So look around your room tonight, not for what looks beautiful, but for what feels aligned. Ask yourself gently, is everything in this space helping me let go, helping me feel held? If the answer is no, if something feels just a little too firm, too upright, too alert, it may be time to move it elsewhere. Your bedroom doesn't need more. It needs less of what holds tension, less of what stands guard, more of what tells your heart it can rest now. And once that shift begins, you'll feel it. Not just in sleep, but in spirit, in connection, in how fully you begin to return to yourself again. Wrong care, weak plant, weak energy. It's easy to forget about the things that don't speak. The plant in the corner. The one you pass by every morning, every night. You water it when you remember. Maybe dust it once in a while, but mostly it just exists, quiet still, expected to thrive on its own. Until one day you look a little closer. The leaves have dulled. The soil looks dry, or maybe damp in a way that doesn't feel right. Something about it says it's surviving, not growing. And you realize it's been asking for attention without making a sound. When it comes to the snake plant, the idea of low maintenance can be misleading. Yes, it's resilient, it doesn't ask for much, but that doesn't mean it doesn't need care. And the way we treat it, the way we tend to its quiet life, matters more than we think. Because a neglected plant doesn't just reflect decay, it invites it. In the energy of your home, in your own rhythm, in how the space feels when you walk through it. A weak plant carries weak energy. That's not a punishment or a warning, it's simply the nature of life. Energy is always moving, always responding. And when a living thing starts to lose its vitality, it creates a ripple. The air around it feels heavier. The room feels less fresh. The space begins to hold still, not in a peaceful way, but in a stuck one. That's what happens when we overlook the simple care rituals that keep energy flowing. A quick wipe of the leaves, trimming what's yellowing, noticing when the pot feels too small or the soil too compact. These aren't chores, they're touch points. Tiny affirmations that say, "I see you, I'm still paying attention." And when we stop paying attention, the plant begins to mirror that back to us. The neglected corners of the home, the to-do list we stopped updating, the morning routine that no longer feels like care but like survival. The snake plant may not need constant watering, but it does need presence. And when it doesn't receive it, it holds that absence in its leaves. You might find yourself walking by it more quickly, feeling vaguely guilty but not enough to stop. That's your energy trying to avoid what it already senses, a small place where life has dulled and no one has noticed. But here's the truth, it doesn't take much to bring it back. Not perfection, not expertise, just intention. Start with timing. Water in the morning, not because plants know clocks, but because morning is when energy begins to rise. When you pour water into soil as the day wakes up, you're aligning with flow. You're saying, let's start fresh together. Watering at night when energy is low and the air is heavy often leads to buildup of moisture, of mold, of energy that sits too long in the dark. That difference matters. Then look at the pot. Has it stayed the same for years? Has the soil compacted, hardened? If so, the plant is likely struggling to breathe beneath the surface. Roots pressed too tight. No space to grow. Changing the soil, repotting, isn't just aesthetic, it's a reset. A literal refresh of the plant's foundation. And that change often echoes something in your own life that's been waiting for space too. Dust on the leaves, cobwebs on the base, fallen bits ignored for weeks. These are signals, not of failure but of pause. They are reminders that even things that seem strong and silent need tending. That care isn't loud or complicated, it's small and consistent. Wiping a leaf isn't about appearance. It's about clearing the layer that keeps light from reaching in. About removing what doesn't serve anymore, so growth can happen again. And perhaps most important of all is the intention behind your care. Plants feel presence. Even if we don't fully understand how, we know it's true. There's a different energy in the way we water with attention versus watering as a chore. When you speak to your plant, when you tend to it with gentleness, it responds, it lifts, it clears. And in that your home does too. Your own energy rises. Because here's what's often missed. How you care for your plant is often a quiet reflection of how you care for yourself. Do you only check in when something's wrong? Do you delay change until it's urgent? Do you expect resilience without nourishment? The snake plant becomes a mirror, not to shame you, but to show you where care is needed. Not just out there, in here too. The good news is, the shift is always possible. Energy responds to awareness. The moment you notice, the healing begins. Move the plant closer to light. Repot it with new soil. Cut away what no longer serves. Speak softly as you do it. And don't be surprised if days later the air feels lighter, if your thoughts feel clearer, if your home feels like it's breathing again. Because energy, when given the chance, always knows how to return to life. This isn't about turning your plant into a project. It's about remembering that life, even quiet life, deserves attention. That energy left unattended settles, and settled energy over time becomes stagnation. But when you shift even one thing, a pot, a morning habit, a dry leaf, you shift more than the plant, you shift the field around it. You invite clarity, motion, vitality, and that shift moves through the room, through your routine, through you. So the next time you pass your snake plant, pause, ask, are you thriving? And then ask yourself the same. If the answer is no, begin gently. Begin with what you can touch, can lift, can clear. Because in tending to what lives in your space, you begin to tend to the parts of you that have been waiting too. Final, sometimes what drains us isn't loud. It isn't dramatic. It doesn't knock things over or scream for attention. Sometimes what drains us is simply misplacement. A strong object placed in a fragile space. A living thing ignored for just a little too long. A corner left in shadow. A room that forgets how to hold softness. And sometimes it's just one plant standing tall in the wrong place, shifting the flow of an entire home without ever saying a word. Throughout this video, we've walked through 5 quiet, powerful truths. That the center of your home isn't just physical, it's energetic. That placing a sharp, active plant there may block more than light, it may block abundance. That the kitchen, once the heart of warmth and nourishment, becomes cold when energy clashes instead of blends. That a dark corner, when ignored, becomes more than empty, it becomes heavy. That your bedroom, where rest and intimacy should thrive, cannot carry sharpness and calm at the same time. And that when you neglect a living plant, you're often unconsciously allowing stillness, stagnation, to take root in your own space. But this is not a story of fear. It's a story of noticing, of beginning to see your home again, not as a background to your life, but as an extension of it, as a space that responds, that holds, that reflects. And just like any living system, it needs alignment, it needs intention. And more than anything, it needs love expressed not through things, but through placement, through care, through presence. And maybe, just maybe, this video helped you see something small in your own home differently. A leaf, a corner, a shift in energy you can now name. If that's the case, then something has already begun to change. I want to thank you for taking this quiet journey with me, for staying, for listening, and for honoring the space you live in with a little more awareness. You don't need to renovate, you don't need to redecorate. You simply need to remember that what you choose to keep, where you choose to place it, and how you care for it changes everything. So tonight, may your home feel a little softer. May your sleep come a little easier. May your spaces hold you with a gentler kind of energy, and may your snake plant finally find the place where it can truly thrive. Thank you for being here. Take a deep breath. You're already on the path home.